There is no documented history of the Rautes, but one common ground is that once they fled from the kingdom, they never returned and established a different pattern of life in the jungle. Raute is said to have originated from Foucault in Calicut about 700 years ago. The Rautes themselves often claim to be the king to rule the kingdom of Foucault. The Rautes trace their origin to the area between the Seti River in the Seti zone of Savlik in Foucault region of western Nepal and the Madi River in the eastern part of Bhutan. King of Raute then decided not to bow down and not to fight, as he had to fight again and again and surrender to the invading kingdoms. Therefore, to some extent, they have fled and displaced the forest with their army, and they have chased away from the society and entered the forest without anyone noticing. Those communities are today's Rautes. As Rautes were from royal families back then, bowing down and surrendering was not acceptable for them, and they decided to run away and live in the forest. When the Rautes left the kingdom and started living in the jungle, there was a danger of killing the Rautes wherever they were found by the ruler who was ruling the kingdom at that time. Due to this, the Rautes become less and less in touch with the surrounding society. And in order to prevent the enemy from assessing their power, the Rautes developed the belief that the population of Rautes should not be counted and shared to others. At the same time, in case of urgent need to contact the society, the practice of going through only the chief and not in person or individual developed. Going to the society one by one, there was high chance that their lives will be lost, and also there would be language problems. Raute chief had told all his people not to believe anything other than the chief and that they should only accept what the chief said. The main person in the Raute community is called Man Bahadur. Important decisions are made by the chief. This decision is accepted by all. Their current surnames are Kalyal, Raskoti, Satyal, etc. It is believed that the surnames like Raut and Saut also belong to this tribe. The Rautes considered themselves as the king of the jungle. There are Raskoti, Kalyan, and Sovangsi surnames of Thakuri dynasty. After the name, everyone says Sahi. There is a different language spoken, which is called Khamsi. Its script is not found. Religion and culture are similar with the Hindu community. Saune Sankranti, Dasai, and Maghe Sankranti are celebrated with more pomp than other festivals. Raute lives in dense hilly forests of Dang, Dailek, Jajarkot, Surkhet, Salyan, Kalikot, Acham, Jumla, Darchula, and Baitadi district from Rapti River to Mahakali River. It is custom for Raute to leave the place after 1 month for fear of getting sick due to living in the same place. They worship Nagas, Mastovairap, and nature. There is an explanation that when you start farming, you can't move. Rautes, who understand the disadvantages and difficulty of a permanent society, considered farming as a sin. To survive, they mastered the craft of wooden products, learned to hunt monkeys, and adopted to forest life. Their culture does not accept them to be involved in any types of formal education. The Raute caste is an endangered indigenous tribe of the backward caste Aryan community in Nepal. Raute are the only nomadic race who lives in the jungle roaming around and doing their daily livelihood collecting tubers, yam and hunting. They work as a daily basis living and don't have the habit of saving. There is a saying that their ancestor submerged all the wealth in Chamelia River, due to which they got cursed that the money they earn is never be enough for living. The Raute move from place to place, spending no more than 4 to 5 months at one place at a time. They roam like the clouds, moving freely from place to place. They don't occupy the same place for long. They don't grow crops, and they don't work for outsiders. Their main area of settlement is within mid and far western parts of Nepal, and they move from one district to another within these two developmental regions. The reason for the nomadic life is based on the story that once, when they lived at a place for length of time, they took one of their family members. From then on, they started believing that living in a single place is a bad star, and they never stayed in one place for long. The nomadic people don't build houses but make huts. They are the only nomadic people in the country who never settle permanently in any particular place. They never spend long periods in one place. Since they cut trees for carving wooden utensils, staying long in one place means destroying more trees. Thus, shifting to a new location gives ample time for forests to regenerate. For the Rautes, it is seen to sow a seed. Their traditional culture forbids them to practice for agriculture and animal husbandry. In particular, they gather yam, dioscorea, mushroom, banana, and nettle. They eat seasonal fruit, and for them, fishing are their specialty. They also hunt birds like kalis and animals like monkey, Himalayan goat goral, porcupine, etc. Their hunting technique is also very rare in the sense that around 8 to 30 young and middle-aged Raute members go for hunting in a group with their nets. They do not use guns or bow and arrow for hunting purpose. When distributing the meat, they distribute it equally among themselves and even to the one who were not involved in hunting. They don't differentiate by means of work done. Everyone is considered equal. They are known for hunting langur and macaque monkeys. They gather wild forest tubers, fruits, and greens on a regular basis. To obtain grain, rice, iron, cloth, and jewelry, they crave wooden bowls and boxes to trade for goods from local farmers. The main sources of living for the Rautes are the wooden materials they make. They have talent for crafting wood and creating household utensils. Their craftsmanship is handed down from generation to generation. Forest is the ultimate home for the Rautes. It is their shelter, source of food, place for entertainment, basis of their utensils, and the real foundation of their income source. Division of labor is based on sex. For example, women mostly carry on works like cooking, washing, bringing water from the stream, and beating the grains. Men's work is carving wooden vessels, cutting woods from the jungle, selling the wooden products, and bartering for grains as well as hunting monkeys. Raute community follow Hindu religion. After the birth of a girl child, anything touched by the mother in her postnatal phase is considered untouchable for other people. If anyone touches the mother in her postnatal phase, that person is purified, sprinkling the gold water and cow urine. On a name-giving day ritual, the aunt or sister sprinkles the cow urine, red tika, unripe banana, and stick from green trees is put on the forehead, and the child is given a name. Sacred band of threads are put into hands and legs of the child, which is called Paiti Barnu. All women of the family gathered on the name-giving rituals will cook the food and eat. It is very important that the food is not left over. If any foods are wasted, then it is considered that the child will be ugly. The mother is considered touchable only after 22 days. The lady, acting as a Brahmin, is given a silver coin, and money is given to all other women. Before, men were not allowed in this ceremony, but nowadays even men can participate in this ritual. In earlier time, Raute did not used to wear sacred thread, but these days even they have even started practicing Bartabanda ritual and started wearing sacred thread. In earlier times, it was only arranged marriage that is being practiced, where people even go to the journey of 2 to 3 days to find bride of same ethnic group. For the marriage purpose, Raute people used to travel from Baitari to Darchula, and as the marriage is also being practiced with Raute of India from earlier time, so for the marriage purpose, they travel to Indian territories like Askot, Jwalji, Paitari Ghar, Chutli Kincha, etc., where the same ethnic people lives. The marriages are practiced within the same race but having different castes. Marriage between castes such as Kalyan, Raskoti and Chatyal is done. In the history of Raute, multi-marriage is not seen in practice till date. They say it is difficult to look after one wife, how could they marry again? Different types of marriage is being practiced in Raute, such as orally marriage, elope marriage, love marriage and widower marriage. Arranged marriage is the first priority for Raute community. When a man and a woman are of marriageable age, marriage proposal is sent from groom's side to bride's house, and with agreement between them, the Brahmin priest is called and the date is fixed for the marriage. In early times, yam was sent from groom's side to the bride's family as an important ritual. In later days, instead of yam, money started being used where bride's family accept the money for upbringing the bride. In love marriage, it is often seen that boys elope and brought girls home and they get married. Until the married couple comes to bride's house and show respect to the entire bride's family member with donation of cash as respect, they are not recognized as married by bride's family. Widow or widower marriage is accepted in Raute community. In a practice, when a widow gets married to a new man and if she already had the child from her first husband, then she takes the child with her and her new husband will also take care in upbringing that child as his own child. Death ritual. In Raute history, if there is a death of any family members, then they migrate from the place leaving the dead body. They used to leave the dead body on the ground for scavenging vultures. Then they started to bury the dead body. They considered it to be ominous to continue living at the same place where their member dies. After burying the dead body, they immediately moved to a new place just on the following day. They said that they would not settle permanently unless they are immortal. Even when someone dies at a new place on the first day of their arrival, they follow the same practice. But nowadays, dead bodies are cremated. One who does the death ritual eats only once. On 11th day, they go nearby river, cook rice and eat as a purifying method. For 13 days, they don't eat salt and turmeric in food and takes food once a day. Since Raute have no property as such, there is no dispute in property transfer. The only property that they considered is their ox. Even in the time of illness, they worship God for treatment and go to Dhami or witch doctor for treatment. The Raute do not adore stone as God. However, they worship of the nature such as the sun, rivers and forests. Raute, who believe Baitari and Darchula as their symbolic place, consider Samaiji as their family deity, and Raute, who consider Doti as a symbolic place, worship Durga as their family deity. The one who worship Masani Samaiji as family deity believes that if God and goddesses are not worshipped, they get angry and that cause unwanted misery. They considered worshipping toward east direction and they worship in a regular basis. Some Raute worship Bajinath, Siddhnath, Bhumi Devta, Arwal, Bandevi, Bialo, etc. Bandevi has 22 forms such as Good Devi, Barwa, Dulpari, Singchari, etc. Even though Raute have been living in forests for many years, they carry out the festival according to the season. In 1st of Baisak, they considered it as Bisupati festival and celebrate as start of the new year. They cook good food and eat. Female in the family visit the father's house for blessing. The last day of Shravan is considered as Olkle Sankranti. Olkle Sankranti is celebrated by consuming pidalu, sel, roti, etc. In Bhadra month, at the time of Gaur, they play Daura and cook good food on that day. They don't do annual rituals for the ancestor, but on new moon day of Asos, they prepare sel, puri, and as a blessing, they give it to cow. Dasai is the important festival for them. They give sacrifice to the goat during Dasai. Raute performs the dance from 5th day to 8th day of Dasai with fire in the middle of the field, and it is believed that it makes the god and goddesses happy. In other communities, it is customary to sacrifice on Astami, but in Raute community, it is customary to sacrifice Khasi Boka or goat on Navami. On Pus 15, they gather together and celebrate by eating yam and pumpkin and listening to stories all night. They also celebrate the first day of Magh as Maghe Sankranti. In the morning of first Magh, they go near river for bathing, applying til on the body. It is believed that the brain will stop its development if trees and green grass are cut in this day. On the last day of the post, all women are invited to their relatives. On that day, they prepare sel roti and meat. In Sri Panchami, goddess of education, Saraswati is worshipped, and babies are taught the first alphabet on this day. Earlier, Raute people used to say that to count the money is a sin. Thank you.